What's up, guys, and welcome to the show. So I figured I'd do this video today and I talk about my top 5 favorite books. Why they're my top 5 favorite books, why are they on that certain number of my top 5 favorite books. Now I'm going to start this video by saying I read everything. I have such a wide variety of books that I read. I read everything and everything, whether it's recommended to me or whether I just think I'll like it. I read everything from autobiographies to like thrillers to horror, suspense, like just fan fiction, like you name it, I read it. I read everything and everything, anything and everything. So at my number 5 is this guy right here. This is Black Like Me. This is my 5th favorite book of all time by John Howard Griffin. Now, this book is about a journalist in the 50s who's really into racial equality. He basically wants to know, really wants to know, what really, truly do black people go through in the South? Is it actually what the media portrays it out to be, or is it something not as bad or much worse? The only way that he could really do that is if he himself becomes black. So with the use of medication, UV rays, like ultra rays, and skin dye, he becomes black, like very dark, apparently very dark. And this is his story of that. And of course, there's a little bit of him becoming white and so on and so forth. This book is really good. It's a very interesting story, but the reason it's 5 is because it's really good. It's really interesting, but it's not anything that we don't already know. It's basically everything you suspected that they went through in the South around that time, they went through in the South around that time. There's nothing really shocking about this book. There's nothing really, new or revolutionary about this book. It's basically just such a really good read, though. It sticks with you. It's very interesting. It's a really good read. Whenever I think of books, this is what comes to mind. And whenever it comes to recommendations, this is one of the first ones that I do recommend. Still really interesting, still a really good read. A little bit repetitive, though, because he kind of repeats what black people kind of go through and so on and so forth. A little bit repetitive, but still an amazing book. This is my number 5 favorite book. My number 4 favorite book is an autobiography. It came out a few years back, and I mean, it's still really good. This is Yours Cruelly, Elvira, Cassandra Peterson. This book, I read it. I was really excited. This was given to me as a gift. I was really excited when I got it, and this was shockingly really good. This is the first book that she had ever written, and it was a really good read, like a really good read. Even now, I think about what she went through in her life, and what if she did this, and what if she did that, so on and so forth. I don't really want to spoil it too much for people, but at one point she was a Las Vegas showgirl, and it's like, okay, well, what if she didn't get her big kind of break? Who knows, would she have gone back to being a Las Vegas showgirl, so on and so forth. So it's a good book that sticks with you. It's such an easy read, such a smooth read. I think it was a pretty quick read for when I read it. I actually remember I went through it pretty quick. It was actually really a smooth read. For autobiographies, and where autobiographies are concerned, this is one autobiography that just stuck with me. I kept the book. It sits on my shelf, like well displayed, because it's such a good read, such a unique story. I really like, I always kind of think about bits and parts of that autobiography, of her story, of her life, even though it's been 2-3 years since I read that book. It's a really great read. I would have probably picked it higher on the list had I not gotten into these reads myself. My number 2 and my number 3 read are really very close, almost neck and neck. But of course, you have to pick one to go 2. You have to pick one to go 3. This one is definitely number 3, and this is The Tide or Tidewater Inn. I always want to call it the Tidewater Inn, but it's Tidewater Inn. I was very late to the game reading this because after I read it, I thought it was a newer book, but I ended up finding out that this came out in like 2012 or something. Like many, many years ago this book came out, but it's still such a great read. It's still a really, really good read. There's a lot that happens in this book, like action wise. Like it's very suspenseful. It keeps you on your edge of your seat, and it really, really does a great job of having a ton of twists and turns in here. Like I was shocked a lot of times when I read this book. I found myself gasping and being like, I can't believe that. And I'm a guy who very rarely gets shocked at some of the twists and turns in here. Granted, there are some parts in here where it's like it could have been better written and this and that, but it's still really, really great read. It's a book where these characters, they really inspire you. There's a certain message in here that it just kind of sticks with you and really inspires you. Like it's such a good, smooth read. I read this all in like almost one sitting. If I didn't pass out because I was super super tired, I would have finished this in one sitting. Like that's how good this book is. Is you really don't want to put this down. Tidewater Inn, really such just a great book for that factor where there's a lot of twists, a lot of turns, a lot of surprise things that happen in that book. That's my third favorite book. My second favorite book, I know a lot of people didn't really care for this book, but I really loved it. And that's Colleen Hoover's Verity. I really like this book. Yes, I did find it very predictable. I predicted the end of this book, well before it happened. But the story was super, super good. It was so good that these, I read it a while back and like, very rarely do I find characters sticking with you. Usually I read a book and I forget about it like, you know, days later, weeks later, months later, years later. I just forget about it. I forget about the book. I forget about the characters. This book, I haven't forgotten about it yet, and I have not forgotten about these characters yet because I find myself thinking about these characters from time to time now. Not what they're doing now, but just basically from this book. And I really like this book. I don't know why. I know there were certain flaws in the way she wrote this. Certain parts of the writing were kind of flawed, but it's still an amazing book, and I really, really just enjoyed it. I don't know. I really liked it. My favorite book is this book right here, and it is the Time Hop Coffee Shop. I really, really, really loved this book. I really love the cover of this. So what attracted me to this book actually was the name of it, the cover. Of course, I love how they did the page art there. I read the back of it and I was like, ooh, I love coffee. This sounds like it might be a really good book. Coffee does play a huge part in this book. If you're a coffee lover, like you will probably absolutely love this book. I found it to be like just such a great read, and it captivated me to the point where even when I had to put it down, I didn't want to put it down. Like this was such a good read. I found the read to be very smooth, and it did a really good job of making me really anxious and like really rooting for the main character of this book, Greta. Like basically what it's about is this woman named Greta, who she was once a well-known actress. Her and her family started in these series of commercials for like a decade, these maple coffee commercials. She ended up becoming rather famous for these commercials. Now she's fallen on hard times, and she just really struggled. And she stumbles upon this coffee shop where she drinks this magical brew that transports her into these commercials, and eventually she has to make a decision whether she stays in these like this other world or she comes back to reality. Such a good book. Like I said, it did such a great job of making me root for her. Like I wanted everything to work out for her. I had such high anxiety reading this because I wanted it to work out for her so bad. This book was really good at at that, at making me like hold on, like, oh, I gotta finish, I have to know, like, God, I wanted to skip ahead so many times in this book, but I just didn't, just because like I didn't want to. I just wanted to read the whole thing, and I'm so glad I did, because this is such an amazing read. And this is one book where I do find myself wondering, what is she up to now? What is her and her husband and her child, what are they up to now? Like, what are they doing in the world at this moment, these people in this book? This was an amazing read. But there you have it. There's my top 5 favorite books. Black Like Me, number 5. Yours Truly, Elvira, number 4. At number 3, Tidewater Inn. Number 2, Verity. And at number 1, Time Hop Coffee Shop. That's the video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll check in the next one.